Is it better now? Great. So let's see what we are supposed to do in lab. So I will share some tools and techniques which you are expected to use in your project and assignments. And you read about those tools, techniques. If you have any doubt, you can ask. And you try to learn them and use them. So first assignment is to prepare a Gantt chart. I have typed in the message also. Let me show you how Gantt chart looks like. You can see Gantt chart, project management Gantt chart. If you search for this, you will get to the correct links. I will also post few links on Google Classroom. See if we'll analyze this image. Let me open. Yeah. So it's visible to all, right? So in this image, what they are doing is, on the left hand side, they have mentioned the task names. Analysis phase is there, design phase is there, development phase is there, and testing is there. And maintenance, deployment, those phases will also come. In each of this phase, we have sub phases. Like within analysis, we have on-site meetings, discussion with the client or various stakeholders, and analysis completion and all. And in design, we have various designs, design database, software design, interface design. Right? Development also have, you create modules, you integrate different modules, you do some testing and complete development. Then you perform the overall testing of the system. So there are various phases in any project. You can go through these. We will be going through these phases in rest of the class. But for your project, which you are going to do, you can prepare a tentative Gantt chart in this manner. On the right hand side, if you see, there are multiple information. One is the timeline. So this task, the green task belongs to design phase, green one. And it's starting from January 9, 2017 to January 30, 2017. And each of these subphases are also having some timeline. Now, apart from the timeline, it also has who is going to what and how much percentage. See, in the first phase, according to this Gantt chart, Mike Smith will give 100%. In the second phase, Mike Smith will give 59%, then 100%. So there's a various, like Jennifer Jones will give 100% here, 56%, and not so on.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, there Mike Smith is doing 59%. There it is not written who is doing 41%, so we don't have to write that.
No, don't follow some things blindly. Okay. It depends on your um, project requirements and how much you need to mention.
Okay, sir, I didn't understand it. What we have to write, like we could also write here, like Jennifer Jones 41%.
Yes, yes.
Why did they write only 59%?
See, this is one of the diagram. If you see other diagrams, they have separate ways to show. In this, they have written the name here, right?
Sorry, sir, it's not visible.
So like you have shown the graphs in your school time and in first year also. So there are various ways you can show one graph. You can show the site is not opening. Just wait for some time. So like this says 11 Gantt chart examples and templates. This is one of the example. Task 1 and week 1 with only color coding. No names are there. This is the similar one. This has names on the right hand side. You can see HBS JPK. Fine. And this is activity and calendar. So you can have see this task. Within this task, there are sub activities. Each activity belongs to a particular user for that task 1. So it depends how you are spanning your task, whether both of you are doing exactly the same task at the same time, then both the names will come. Got it? Clear this one? Okay. So if you go through these
Google
various,
advertise.
yes,
ये बनवा रहा है. I
Ekta
don't
and
know.
Vikash, you want to say something? Vikash,
No, sir, I was muted.
okay, you are unmuted, so
No, sir, I.
you are okay. Now you are not unmuted. Yeah. So you can refer this content and there are you can use Excel, MS Excel, you can use Google Sheet to create a tentative Gantt chart for your project, right? Now, as much as information you can put, you are expected to put here. And if you use any professional Gantt chart software, there are many open source software, you can use any one. They will provide you ready to use templates which more information like you can mention the project name, you can label this timeline, you can put percentage here. So not necessarily you need to put everything by manually there. So you can use any project management software which allows you to create Gantt chart for you. And so by doing this assignment, your tentative line should be clear that when and what you are going to do for your project in this subject, right? And let me tell you more phases which you are expected to put here. See, there are various types of Gantt chart you can see. right? Now let me tell you the SDLC. SDLC stands for Software Development Lifecycle. Okay. So you can follow any SDLC, that is fine. So you go through various, you just search SDLC project management, you will get different types of development life cycles. You can pick anyone and start following it. Like for example, this one. In this case, planning is the first one, then analysis, then design, then implementation, then testing and integration, then maintenance. More or less, you use any technique, you will find almost similar development life cycle. Like requirement analysis is the first one, then design, then implementation, then testing, then evolution. Evolution is equivalent to maintenance and post deployment modifications. So name might be changing, but more or less technique will remain same. Like this is particular in particular context, they are having pre-sales and initiation, then they are prototyping, then planning, they are executing, then testing, handoff and hypercare. So it depends on their particular context, what special phase you can have in your project. Like in this diagram, they are saying you first define the scope of your project, what you are expected to do. Then you develop it. Then you stabilize all the features, go through alpha beta testing. Then you start delivering product to customer, deploy it, then maintenance and support. So you can go through any number of examples for software development life cycle and follow one of them which you can understand. Generally, your software development life cycle also depends on what kind of project you are doing. For example, if you are going to develop a very nice, aesthetically good user interface as part of your project, like some of you were saying that Aryabhatta interface is not good enough. Say in this project, you try to create a new interface for Aryabhatta, new user interface. In that case, your development life cycle would be what? Get the requirement, get all the functionality action which you are expected to embed in that user interface, logically arrange those functionalities which should come together, should be under same menu option, should be put close to each other. What is the navigation, what is the authorization path, which option should not be shown to particular user at what point of time. So everything you need to design, requirement analysis and design, and then develop the UI, then launch it, do alpha testing, get the user experience, user reviews, and if there is any bug, modify it, improve it. So there are phases in UI development. Similarly, you can have a project where you develop a Chrome browser plugin to maybe to show you, to notify you when you have an inbox email from a particular set of users. So for Gmail browser tab, you will create a plugin which will keep reading your incoming emails, and whenever your expected emails come, there is a explicit notification. So in this kind of project, your software development lifecycle would be what? First, to analyze, study the APIs provided by Gmail. Then Use them in the Chrome browser as a development part. As a testing, you will see by sending emails whether those notifications are coming properly or not. And then you launch this plugin on the Chrome plugin store and maintain it if there is a future API change. So this is another development life cycle possible in different type of project. But overall, if you look at this would be the typical life cycle. You start your project, you gather your requirements. The requirement gathering phase is highly contextual depending on your use case scenario of the project. Like in Chrome plugin for Gmail alert, requirement gathering was related to your Gmail API requirement study and Chrome plugin studies. You analyze, then you design how it should look like, what should be the workflow, performing an action, what all happens at the back end. Once design is clear, you actually write code and implement, then testing, deployment, and operation and maintenance. So this is the typical workflow in a software development life cycle. So I have shared two things right now with you. One is software development life cycle. Another is once you finalize your life cycle, the software development life cycle for your project, you need to prepare a Gantt chart on all these phases. We will be keep improving this Gantt chart as we study all these phases in depth. Okay. Any doubt, any question? Okay. Do we have to make report based on SDLC? I have not asked for report as of now. So don't bother right now about the report. Notion can also be used, fine. As long as you are preparing timeline with full information, anything is fine. So first step is SDLC, then Gantt chart. Yes. Because what do you mention in the Gantt chart? It will come from your SDLC. Okay, so Vikash is asking why there is an arrow between operation and maintenance to project kickoff. Because generally when you roll out one version of software, then there are more user queries, more extension requests. So you keep collecting those modifications and you start a new project. Currently you are working with academic projects. Let me just complete the answer. As of now, we are working in academic projects. So for you, it doesn't feel any difference. But when you work in a company, company is paying you whenever they get a project from their customer, they get an agreement signed with their customer that this much thing we will develop, any deviation we will not handle. When you deliver that product to customer comes with more requirement, say okay, there's another extension of the project, let's sign another agreement and give us these modifications, and customer has to pay extra. So after starting the project or delivering the project, it should not happen that your customer complains that no, I was asking for A, but you have delivered me B. So what these companies do, and this is regular practice, that they sign an agreement, they mutually agreed and sign an agreement that this is the objective of this project, deliverable of this project. At the end of this month, this year, we will be delivering you this all functionality. Any deviation from this agreement, customer has to pay extra. So that is the reason there is a arrow between operation maintenance to project kickoff, because generally during maintenance you get more requirements and it results into a new project initiation and the life cycle goes on. Okay, any doubt? Great. So you are expected to study software development lifecycle and Gantt chart. You have to prepare Gantt chart based on your course project. Yes. So in the process, your project topic will be also finalized. Many of you had some query related to course project. You can ask right now. Gantt chart is not part of project. It's part of your assignment. Project objective is what you define. That will be project. For that project, you are preparing Gantt chart, which is your assignment submission. So any question, any doubt regarding project or the assignment?
Hello.
Yes, Karthik.
Yes, sir. I have a doubt regarding. Suppose if I do my project on terminal, the assignment on terminal, the minimum number of
Your
variables.
voice is not that clear.
If we do our assignment one on terminal, then we get minimum 2 number of variables. But if we
Yes.
try to do it in a good user interface using React, then the minimum number of variables is 8. So actually both are minimum only, but for different things.
So you put both the cases in your report.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah. So, but I have done my project on React and I have not done in terminal. So, but my number of variables is minimum for the React app.
Yeah, so that you can mention whatever you're explaining right now, that you can mention in the report.
Okay. Sir, and one more doubt I have, sir, how to find the runtime memory for some website?
So you need to check the runtime memory at the server side.
Sir, so the sir, the memory which is actually the memory of the resource which is loaded, is that the runtime memory?
Yes.
Okay, sir, fine. So because we can inspect the website and then we can find the.
Yes, yes, that also, that way also you can see what are the active variables. Those
Yeah.
are having memory. Yes.
Thank you.
You can use ready-made templates for Gantt chart, but please modify it for your project. Don't submit any ready-to-use Gantt chart. What to keep in mind during the decision? What decision, Arvind? Decision regarding what? Project topic. Okay, I'll come to that. What are the parameters we should focus on during our course project? I already explained in one of the class that you pick one functionality. Small functionality is fine, but you need to achieve some quality, you need to improve something. You need to focus on one quality attribute. You need to follow proper software development life cycle. So those are more points to focus for your course project. What is alpha and beta testing? We will discuss later on, but in short, I will tell you right now. Alpha testing, when you do it in your lab. Beta testing, you roll out to limited number of users and let them test. So beta testing is more closer to the real world deployment. How can we get runtime memory for a terminal based quiz? You can do asymptomatic analysis of your algorithm and find how many active variables are there. The size of variables, whether they are integer, float, or what, depending on the bytes, you can compute. What should it fulfill? Project topic. Project topic, any objective will work as long as you are following the software development life cycle, Gantt chart, or we will be sharing testing mechanism, we'll be sharing design, how to prepare design, high level design, low level design. So all those things you need are expected to do as part of the project. How to quantify qualities like usability? Okay, so that's why we are calling them quality, not quantity. Not all quantities, not all qualities can be quantized properly. There are methods, there are measures using which you can quantify up to certain extent, but not always true. So measuring those quality is actually advanced topic, which I generally discuss in software and data engineering course. So as of now, you can ignore, and if it required for your particular project, we can discuss later on. How you can show your project is better and focusing on the quality standard. So say if you claim that your software is 99.999999% available, there has to be proper deployment strategy and distributedness. You should have taken care from various failure conditions. So those will be reflected in your source code. So that's how, given your claim that you are providing quality, X quality, there has to be some level of implementation reflection in your source code, based on which you can comment why your software is more secure. You might be using 256 SHA or 512-bit SHA. So that for higher security, for better encryption, you should be able to show something. SHA is encryption algorithm. You'll find when you start implementing security, you can use as it is. You don't need to implement SHA algorithm as such. You can use third-party libraries to build your project. When we are expected to finalize and submit the Gantt chart? By next week. Generally, creating Gantt chart is 1 or 2 days effort if all groups sit together and discuss. But since you need to finalize the topic and you need to finalize SDLC corresponding to that topic, so that's why 1 week time is being given. Okay, if you claim your project is scalable, how will you prove it? You need to show whether adding more hardware, it utilize those hardwares properly or not. Then there are simulations using which you can show that you can simulate number of user load on your system and you can measure the capacity. You can restrict RAM usage of your system to 1 GB, then do capacity testing, then increase the RAM limit to 2 GB, again perform the capacity testing. So it will say that by adding more hardware, by providing more hardware access to your system, then your capacity is linearly growing or logarithmically growing. So depending on that, you can claim whether it's truly scalable or suboptimally scalable. Both have to submit, but the same file. Both members of the group expected to submit all the files during your all the assignments and course project. Any other doubt or question? Few examples of what? Harshit, you are expected to submit Gantt chart for your project. Project ideas, I have already mentioned few. Chrome browser plugin. In HMI assignment discussion also, I mentioned few domains. You can develop mobile app, web app, desktop app. You can develop new UI for Aryabhatta. You can continue your engineering design project if you have worked on some interesting project. You can continue them and extend it. But the only focus is you need to follow software design principles, software engineering principles like HDLC, Gantt chart, testing, exhaustive testing you need to perform. You need to prepare design document for your project. So those things should be main focus. Those are the parameters on which your project will be evaluated. Whether you have prepared nice design documentation, whether your source code is properly commented, and whether your deployment is easy, your software is intuitive to use, it has proper documentation to use and to further extend, whether your code is more modular. It can be either type of project. It may include only front end, only back end, or both. Anything is fine. What if you could not complete the project by end of this trimester? It's the same if you are unable to complete exam within the stipulated time, the partial grading will happen. Bhavna has clearly mentioned, get the point. Your project should be as simple as possible, a small project, so that you can focus on software engineering principles. So the motive of this course project is not to teach you any tool and technique, but to teach you how to apply software engineering for any project. You can use machine learning projects, course projects, which you might be developing. For that project, you can prepare the detailed engineer documentation like Gantt chart or design document. You can get user requirement gathering, user requirement specifications, all those things. How to serve static assets using efficient cache policy. Can you explain a little more context of your question?
So the static files which we upload, sir, I did a Lighthouse report of my website and it is showing some error, and it shows that you need to improve this to improve your performance.
No, it was
So
web app, mobile
web app,
app,
web app.
desktop,
It was a
web
web
app.
app.
See, if there's a caching content and there are large static files, generally we need to do CDN service. We need to use CDN service, content delivery network service. Like I think I mentioned YouTube example to your class only, or not? Actually, I'm teaching multiple courses, so I don't know.
Yes.
Did I share YouTube example? No. Okay. So see, if you fetch a very old video which is not so popular from YouTube, the video streaming will be relatively slow as compared to if you are watching very popular video in your locality, your streaming service will be very fast. Why? Because YouTube or similar services, media, Netflix or those multimedia services, they are using CDN, content delivery networks. Akamai is one of the company. So Akamai provides CDN service. Google also has its own CDN service. So when you deploy your system, you can use these CDN services to deliver your content to your clients. You can right now understand CDN as cache of internet. Like in your machine, there's a cache. In the same way, in internet, there's a cache which is CDN. Like in your system, cache resides near to CPU. In CDN internet, that storage, that cache lies near the client network. So say there's a cricket match happening between India and Pakistan. Most of the viewers will be from Asian subcontinent, and you can cache the live streaming content near to this territory servers. You don't need to cache this content to say country like Bhutan or Nigeria, right? So that is one aspect. How you can improve the performance of your web app by using CDN services. There's a other mechanism. If assets are small, you can store them in cookies. So first time loading may take some time because newer cookies are being created. But next time your browser will use the same cookies and get those content. For example, Amazon stores cache of the items that we visit, which speed ups the website. So it's, see, if you look at your Chrome browser temporary data, it will be in few hundred MBs. So most of your website access is being stored locally on your machine. In the mobile device, it works slightly different because mobile devices are having limited resources. So the browser for mobile keep cleaning those content, but desktop browser may not clean the content immediately. That caching is there. In fact, in mobile settings, you can go to application settings and clear local data, clear cache. Those options are available. So by locally caching, they speed up they seems to speed up the user interface performance. But these are not only 2-3 ways to improve the performance. There are large number of tactics. So as a project, you can take some idea and you say you will improve this online delivery, content delivery, or you will improve some accessibility issues, you will enhance the security, performance, any one of them. scalability, capacity. You will, you can take example of any software, open source code, and you can modularize that software, open source code, so that it becomes more maintainable. Anything else? It seems there are no more questions. So, see, this is assignment and there will be feedback on these assignments. So just go ahead, decide your project topics. If it looks suitable, I will say, okay, go ahead. If I feel that it's not suitable for this course project, I'll give you feedback, then you can modify the project topic. But please go ahead and decide your project topic and submit this first assignment so that I can share feedback with you. Yes, Dash. You can, I will actually recommend you must have simple small project and focus on one quality and see how systematically you can increase the quality aspect of that software. Gantt chart submission deadline is 1 week from now. So you can discuss with me at
Excuse
the
me,
end
sir.
of the class. Yes.
Sir, you told that you will be discussing in lab about heuristic evaluation.
Yes. So you,
So I wanted to confirm that can we keep it like we take one topic and describe it like user comfort or user friendliness like this, and the problem that is faced in this category. So is it a heuristic evaluation?
see, as long as you are not using any well-defined methodology like till now, whatever program we have developed without software engineering principles, those are actually, I will say, it's a heuristically developed software. They have not planned properly. It comes as, means it goes on as it comes on, and uh, you yourself make some decisions and do something. You do not refer any framework or particular technical, platform. So that all is heuristic, whichever you plan randomly. Fine. So heuristic is a fancy name given to the methodology which you generally do without referring to any article. So
Sir, can you give some example?
example of what? Example of what?
Heuristic evaluation, sir.
Heuristic.
Yes, sir.
See, I want to reach to the city as early as possible. Right now, I am sitting in IITJ campus and I want to reach to Jodhpur city. Now I will apply my own mind, my own brain, gray matter, and think that okay, first I should walk towards gate, assuming I don't have my own vehicle, or I should find e-rickshaw, reach to the curved circle, wait for local bus, or I should go up to the bridge and take some roadways buses which are running, intercity buses. So all these plans which I'm making right now are coming because of my heuristic judgment. But if I could have done empirical analysis that using e-rickshaw followed by local bus from Karwad Circle, not from IIT Gate, will help me in reaching to the city faster. And if there are no more bus available, I should run towards Ayurveda University Gate. So if I have done proper analysis and I have found the significance, I have performed some statistical testing, I find the probability of success with given numbers, then it becomes proper methods. Like competitive exams, you all of you have given JEE exam. There's different strategies, like whether you should keep attending a question where you got a stuck or not. Empirical study will give you some insight, but you don't need to always refer to empirical study to give any competition exam. You can also apply your own heuristic without any empirical proofs. Fine. In general, yes. I'm not saying randomly. Thoughtfully, if you are doing something to optimize or to achieve some objective, then it's a heuristic solution, which seems best to you given the limited resources. It should not that, okay, you want to reach city early and you keep walking. Walking is not the heuristic solution. Heuristic solution also achieve certain quality up to some extent. So Bhavna is asking, scalability in terms of number of user is capacity. Resource optimization, if you use resource optimization, you can also entertain more number of users simultaneously. So both are correlated. No, heuristic evaluation is for evaluation. Right now your assignment in HMI is to check whatever you have proposed, the modified design. You have to evaluate whether your design is good or not heuristically. So you don't need to use any framework platform to analyze whether your solution is better or not. You use your heuristic thinking and justify why your solution which you are proposing, the good design, is better. How do you prove that your capacity is better? So there are some simulation softwares which will simulate the users. They will simulate simultaneous user login also. So there are applications which can do such simulations. Using, you can measure your capacity. Like Selenium is a testing software. Suppose you have built a login website and you want to check how many number of users can simultaneously log in. So you use Selenium, you create millions of users, not manually one by one, by writing scripts in Selenium. So Selenium allows you to create random users, as many as you want. It also allows you to give the URL of the website and simulate the login on that website, multiple logins, and that's how you can measure the capacity using Selenium. Yes, why is the answer of your heuristic evaluation. I'm not asking that you use particular framework defined by Jacobs framework to see whether your user interface is better or not. No framework need to be followed. You follow as per your understanding, whatever comes in your mind. Any other question or doubt? Thus, this I think we have already discussed the difference between capacity and scalability. How to do SEO, search engine optimization? There are various techniques. You can go through any article, it will describe step-by-step method. And also it depends on the kind of content you are using on your website. Then the number of links available on your website, incoming links, outgoing links. There are multiple factors in SEO. So actually you can, for your learning purpose, you can do SEO for particular website and follow the software engineering principle. So Dash Patel, I expect you to read difference between capacity and scalability. We have already discussed in the class. And anyway, you are going to have quiz on Friday. So for that you need to study this. Anything else?
So,
Yes.
so the interviews that will take for a heuristic evaluation. So, can we just sum up the interviews in a short paragraph, or like do we have to write them point wise?
Point wise will be better.
Okay.
Like what kind of question did you ask? What
Mhm.
kind of answer did you expect?
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
You can use Google Form surveys for your question answer.
Hmm. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, can it be like mentioning the question and few responses of that? 4 to 5
But
responses of which
but
we
your analysis should be there, or inference should be there.
means what?
Depending on the answers, what did you what you can infer.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Uh, Pragati is asking cloth and design. So if you talk about cloth, there are various design aspects. One is are you talking about the material of the cloth? Or are you talking about the design of the dress?
Yes, sir, I'm talking about the material of the cloth. If it is not suitable for summer
Material of the
season,
cloth.
yes, sir. So it can it be considered as a bad design if it is not suitable for
No,
summer
no,
as well as
see,
winter
the
season?
material is inherently that one. If you want to use for summer, you are not expected to use that material, right? But it has been designed in such a way that earlier the material was suitable for summer or winter, but now after processing it's no more suitable. And that is example of bad design. But inherently, if material is not summer friendly or winter friendly, then we cannot comment on the natural product itself. Here we are looking at the more mistakes which can be committed by human being, not by nature.
But using that kind of material which is not good for summer as well as not good for winter, so that is a human error, na?
See, using that material to design a summer dress is human error. And that is also not interface design error. That is decision error. The decision itself was wrong, not the interface. Here we are talking about the human machine interaction. Make sure that human need to interact with something. And that's where the design is not, the interface is not intuitive or suitable. It's an example of bad interface design. So interfacing has to come somewhere. Both. Then only you will get to know whether your proposed design is okay or not.
So, sir, can we consider this kind of cloth as a bad design which is not good for summer as well as winter?
For HMI,
For this task assignment,
no,
can it
no.
be considered as a
See,
bad design?
here, even if I assume that the cloth example which you are taking is a machine, I don't see interfacing happening between human and cloth. I can see one interfacing happens with cloth is whether it's easy to wear or not. Or another aspect is whether it can be wearable, looks good even without ironing. So
Okay, sir.
human machine interaction has to be there. A design which is good for majority of people but not useful for some like handicapped people. See, in that case, um, suppose your building entrance in colleges, there should be one ramp and one stairs. Both options should be there. Like now, if a facility which has been only created dedicatedly for especially abled people, and there if it's a design flow, uh, I was looking at one design. So there were two levels, two ground levels, slightly different, and and it was divided in two parts. So left side and right side. When you take the left side, you encounter stairs first and then ramp. On the right side, you encounter ramp first and then stairs. And there was concrete divider between right and left sides. So no matter whoever takes which side, right or left, they have to also use stairs as well as ramp. So it was literally bad design. It could have been possible that you use ramp on left side or and only stairs on right side or other way around. So that one side is friendly for people who cannot smoothly walk, another side is friendly for people who can walk, who can use the stairs. Clear? Any other doubt? So there is no doubt or question. So we can close this meeting.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, if the survey was not conducted regarding how our product is, means when we modified, how was it? So will it be considered, because now we can't in such small duration? I only conducted the survey for the problem which was there.
That is fine. You are able to get some insights, right? Others are also
Yes, sir.
thinking like the way you were thinking.
Yes, sir. That majority was thinking like that, so I got that conclusion.
Fine, fine. Anything else? Okay, then, so we can